running from the bad guy. I'ma stare him in the eye like, what's up?
And hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to day 23, you guys. 23 of my I'm sorry. I've been off and on all day. That's why I've been kind of late. So I apologize. But day 23 of my strength, my journey, my story, my strength challenge. Oh, sorry. Well, as you all know, this journey started as a way for me to reclaim my voice. And it started as an everyday challenge that I chose to show up not just for myself, but for anyone out there trying to survive what they never meant to endure, what they were never meant to endure. Because healing is raw, it's messy, 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 but it's still possible. My truth might mirror your silence. And today, I'm giving that silence a voice. So I'm going to give you guys the trigger warning, okay? This episode contains sensitive content involving emotional abuse, family court injustice, and trauma. So please take care of yourself as you listen. If you need to take a break, if you need to walk away, whatever you need to do it because your emotional, mental, physical stability is what is the most important, okay? So this episode or this topic today is about a time when I was, feeling a little lost. One of the times I felt lost. And most of us understand what it's like, especially when we're in communities where our pain is ignored and our survival is politically controlled. I'll say it like that, with the politics and the policies. This story is one of many that has built those feelings up in me, like I was ignored and my survival was just pushed to the side. So after my divorce, my kids got homesick. We left after he tried to burn down our house. They got homesick. They were like, you're divorced now. Things were different. Can we just go back? They wanted to be closer to their biological family. So I took them back to California, but I let them know this is the last time. If something happens, we'll never move back again. Even though I knew deep down that this might not be the fresh start that they were imagining. I've always spoiled my kids because of the guilt that I felt about the abuse that they had to see or witness, and with my older son, in his case, had to endure. So around the time, and this is when I went back, of course, here we go with the shit. My ex dragged me to court to modify our custody agreement to where he can have more control over visitations. So after everything we've been through, the abuse, the 911 call, the trauma, he still wanted joint legal and physical custody of the kids. And the judge, we go to court, after months and months and months of us trying to fight this, we go to court finally. The judge didn't review anything that I provided. He didn't look at anything, not any of the witness statements, not even the letters or the statements from my children with direct pleas about not feeling safe with him. The only thing that came out of his mouth was that he was being granted 6 hours of visits every other weekend and telling me that I should be grateful because I'm remaining the primary caregiver. I'll still have sole physical custody with joint legal custody. And that gives me the title of primary caregiver. He can't take them aside from those 6 hours every other weekend, Saturday 6 hours, Sunday 6 hours. That was what he got. It was like screaming into a black hole. I followed the order. Every other weekend, I handed my kids over to this man that they were terrified of. Every other weekend. I did it because I knew if I didn't, he'd call the police on me and they'd be at my door. And I would be punished again. But there was one weekend, all my kids were sick. They had snotty noses, wheezing, full-blown colds or flu-like symptoms. And I told him I'd be happy to switch weekends. I'm not trying to prevent you from having your weekend. I just want to know if we can switch because this weekend they're sick. They don't feel well, and I'm taking care of them. He said no. I could buy medicine and they can lay down over here in my mom's house because, of course, he's never had his own place. He's always lived with someone. 9 times out of 10, it was either his sister or his mom. In this case, it was his mom, who at the time was heavily, heavily addicted to crack cocaine, and I did not want my kids over there in the first place, but what am I supposed to do? I did also let the judge know this, but hey, who cares about keeping the kids safe, right? But I still made it clear that I didn't want to switch the week. I mean, I wanted to switch the weekends, but he refused. I told him, I'm not withholding them from you. I just don't want to send them out while they're sick like that. But he shows up anyway, but he shows up with the police. So the police comes into my home and they saw that exactly what I said was true. We not only were my kids sick, I was sick too. The kids were visibly unwell. He heard the wheezing. He saw the stuffy nose. The officer even made a side comment that their dad was trash for doing this. But he reminded me that he had to enforce the order, the court order. And if I didn't have my kids over, my sick kids over, that I would be arrested for violating the court order. I was devastated. Like, really, you're going to punish me for trying to protect my kids? I had to watch this man who violated so many restraining orders with no consequence. If you listen to some of my lives from a couple of weeks ago, you'll hear me talk about a time where I physically showed them a restraining order and they told me they could do nothing, but you're going to uphold a court order allowing this man to take my sick children out of their home to go sleep over a drug addict's house. But the second I made a judgment call in my kids' best interest, I'm the one that's going to go to jail. Me. The kids went with him. I had to. I had no choice. Miserable, sniffling, scared, and I just stood there. I felt helpless. So those are two times when the judge forced me to have to give him visitations every other week and tell me I should be grateful. I felt lost that day. But the worst part about it was having to watch my kids walk out the door sick, and I couldn't do nothing. But after that day, he kind of stopped showing up for his visitations. Barely, like maybe 2 or 3 times after that, he showed up, and he didn't even keep him the full 6 hours. I don't know what happened while they were out with him sick. I don't really care. I'm grateful. Yay. I didn't chase him. I didn't remind him. I damn sure didn't call the police. I let him disappear. And I let my kids have some peace. So some of the ways I felt, this experience left me feeling like a failure as a mother. Again, I felt lost. Like no matter how hard I tried, I was powerless. I started to believe that the system wasn't just broken, it was built to break women like me. I felt invisible, discarded, and constantly punished for trying to protect my kids. It was a suffocating pain, the kind of pain that you question whether you're doing the right thing, whether doing the right thing is even worth it. Should I just break the law? I internalized that lie that I didn't matter, that my voice would never be enough to save my kids. So I have a reflection question for you, because those were my feelings. But my reflection question to you is, have you ever been forced to choose between protecting someone you love and obeying a system that doesn't care about your safety? What did you do in that moment? And what did that moment teach you about your own strength? Okay, so the negative mind state that I had that I needed to reframe was, I believed my pain did not matter, that my decisions will always be questioned, that I will always be seen as the problem. But I had to reframe that, because that isn't true. Instead of letting that belief rot inside of me, I began to document everything, not for them, but for me. I started keeping a journal of every time I had to protect my children, every boundary I honored, every hard choice I made out of love, everything I have ever done to try to keep myself safe. I created my own record of power, even if the courts refused to. So the affirmation that I have for this situation was, my choices to protect myself and my children are valid. Whether or not they are recognized by anyone else, I honor my truth, and that makes me unbreakable. Okay, and that makes you unbreakable. So now we're going to jump to the mini session. The coping skill is grounded tapping, and empowerment statement loop. Okay, this combines physical regulation with cognitive empowerment. So find a quiet space and lightly begin tapping your fingers together, index to thumb, in a slow rhythm. Breathe deeply as you do this. Okay, slow rhythm. With each tap, repeat the power statement. You can say it out loud, or you can say it quietly. Tap 1, I'm not invisible. Tab 2, I protect my peace. Tab 3, they don't define me. Tab 4, I trust my strength. Do this loop for 2 to 3 minutes. It physically calms your nervous system while reinforcing a powerful self-led narrative. Okay? So now we're on our empowerment challenge. This is my 1 minute empowerment challenge that I have for you in this voice reclamation walk. Step outside, even just for a few minutes, and speak a truth out loud that you were once punished for saying. You can say it as a whisper, you can say it in your regular tone, or you can shout it out, but make sure you say it verbally. This is about reclaiming the words that were used to silence you. Let the wind carry your defiance. Let the earth bear witness to your survival. But give your voice power. Give your voice strength, okay? And now, here we are to our survivor spotlight. This is my favorite time because this is when I get to give a shout out to somebody who's inspired me in some kind of way and helped me see that surviving, though as messy as it is powerful and it is beautiful. So this week, I'm going to be spotlighting a woman who I have looked up to since the day I met her. Miss Lady V, Miss T. Lady V. Elliott. She does not just break barriers. She I cannot say that word. Obliterates them. She obliterates them, blows them up. You guys know what I mean. This woman is a beast. This woman has lived through layers of trauma that most people can't even name: physical abuse, sexual abuse, trafficking, chronic illness that would flatten most people. I believe it's lupus, but I don't want to put it out there. But she has an illness, a chronic illness that would flatten most people, and yet she's here. She stands. She's alive. She stands loud and leading. She's the creator of a powerful anthology, Warrior Women Hear Us Roar, which I am proud to be part of because she honored me with the opportunity to be a part of this movement. But more than that, she's an architect of a movement. She's an architect of the movement. She created the Judgment Free Zone Network, a platform where survivors can speak, rise, and shine without apology, which is actually where I met her because she had me as a guest on her show. Even while battling this chronic disorder, she shows up for us. She teaches us to shatter, not break, but shatter the silence. Her live conference coming this December, Warrior Women Hear Us Roar live conference. It'll be December 12th and 13th in Dallas, Texas. This is not just a revolution, you guys. Not an event, you guys. This is a revolution. This is a revolution. And if you don't have anywhere else to be, that is the place that you need to be. She's not just here to inspire quietly. She's here to light a fire under every silent soul and remind us that being a survivor is only the beginning, because she doesn't only stop at surviving, she goes to thrive. Lady V, thank you. Thank you so much for showing us what survival can look like. That power, that purpose, and that community. You are not only leading us, you are lifting us up, and we are forever grateful. Thank you so much for teaching us how to rise in our greatness. Yes, you guys, those are her words. I love it. Rise in our greatness. That's something that she preaches and teaches, and I respect and appreciate her for sharing her gifts with me and with our community, with my sisters that I met through her, that she connected with us, lifelong bonds that is going to be there forever, because this woman has been a huge voice in the revolution. So you guys need to definitely check her out. The link to the conference in December is going to be in the comments. And it's also going to be on my link tree, both of them, my link tree and the link to the conference. So if you want to click on the link through the comments and get to that to register, or if you want to go through my link tree, however, you need to be there. You need to register. And when that book comes out, you need to pick up yourself a copy, because my story's in there, but I know that a lot of strong, powerful women shared their story of inspiration, shared their story of hope. And it was all because of this woman who put us all together. So if today's episode reminded you of a time that your truth was ignored, know this: your voice is still powerful. You don't need permission to stand up for what's right. You are the proof that justice doesn't come from systems. It comes from stories like yours and mine. So keep speaking, keep rising, keep walking your journey in uplifting others. And do not forget, please do not forget to like, share, subscribe to my channel, Empowered Voices, Finding Strength in Survivors. Help uplift this community. Do your part the way I'm doing mine, even if it is just a share, comment, DM me your story, whatever you need to do. Don't forget, your pain doesn't end your story doesn't end in pain. It begins in power. Thank you so much for day 24. I love you guys, and please stay strong. So on a side note, I noticed that you guys have noticed I've been a little late. That's because something has been trying to stop me from coming. I have been being physically attacked in my body every day, and I will not let that define me. I'm not going to stop. I'm in pain right now, but I'm going to show up for this every single day. Please know I may be late, but I'm going to come. I promised you guys 365 days of empowerment and upliftment, and that's exactly what you're going to get. So again, your story doesn't end in pain. It begins in power. See you guys tomorrow. I love you all. Stay strong.
Heard you looking for a hero. Well, look up. No more running from the bad guy. I'ma stare him in the eye like, what's up? I know the journey got hard for a minute, but I ain't giving this up. Yeah, I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I